I got nothing. Wow. He was like something latched onto your legs and was like a cat, like clawing up your legs or something.
Oh no! I was in the car.
I see what he's doing.
The 1980s.
Oh, you were in the car.
He was in the car.
The intro.
I was
okay.
passenger.
Okay.
I was passenger.
You
Okay.
were so like you're hitting your imaginary brake because we got a little close to the car in front of us.
Very, very scary. Very scary.
If you were in the passenger seat, who was driving?
Probably me.
Yeah, it was wrong.
I tend to get that reaction.
It was the tactical.
It must be
the tactical of the tactical geek.
We were just making some tactical maneuvers.
The geek of the tactical.
Making good time.
What we had to do.
Road rage.
The road rage geek.
The road rage.
All right. Well, welcome
to
episode number 11, 8-Bit Atomic Geeks.
Oh my gosh.
Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night? We'll continue with our Halloween theme. Tossing it up a little bit tonight. A little bit of an open mic night, I guess you could call it. We'll probably lead off with something. It'll still be movie focused, but we're just going to talk about some scary shit.
We're going to try to leave it movie focused anyway. You know how we go on our tangents.
It may even be not so scary shit. I don't know.
Probably not. Unless you're looking at us.
I mean, it could be
scary.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be pretty scary looking, look into my eyes. Yeah. That could be bad.
Let me get my frosty beverage poured here.
Don't do it.
Oh, I'm doing it.
It's a trap.
There is no Dana.
Nice frosty beverage.
There is no yingling.
Oh, that's the good jingling. That's the stuff you can only get up in Pennsylvania.
Only gruel.
Well, they don't offer that yingling down here.
Well, that's because you're all bougie.
That is not bougie.
That's bougie beer.
Voice has his Pepsi.
The Pepsi. You took a sip and your camera kind of focused in it out. Almost
that was kind of weird. I caught that.
Got drunk goggles all of a sudden. I mean, that crap hit quick. It's
a haunted beer. So yeah, like I said, not so scary, or even kind of scary, not so scary. I'll lead off. First thing popped in my mind, Beetlejuice.
Yes.
I don't know. Some parts of Beetlejuice was
the beginning. Well, so I'll lead off with early. When I was a young lad, first watching Beetlejuice. There were some pretty scary scenes early on when they're first trying to scare, the Dietzes when they come into the house. She's holding his head, ripped the face right off.
Right.
That freaked me out as a kid. That was some scary stuff.
The eyeballs on the fingers.
I said that didn't freak me out that bad.
That was more clay, horrible. Well, at the time, I guess it was considered good,
but the
animated movie effects. But
and Beetlejuice's snake form,
yes,
was actually pretty terrifying. I mean, still not as bad because early on
the modern art.
I'll be honest, that modern art scared me more than anything in that.
The modern art. And that was before it was animated.
Before it moved around, it was scary.
Before it moved around, I was
pretty horrific.
Sitting there thinking to myself, who in the world would make something like that?
And it's funny because every year I watch Beetlejuice for Halloween. It's part of the requisite viewing for the month of October. But it was the first time I kind of caught when they're moving all that in, and she's like, "Well, be careful with that." I can't remember the exact line. I'm not quoting. And the dude's just looking at her like, I got this. And she's like, no, I made this. Or something along those lines. The first time I kind of caught the, the, I guess what she was really like, how really important it was to her. I've never really caught that a little bit in that scene before.
My reply to her at that point, if I was that dude, would be, I'm sorry.
You made, what is
You
this?
made this? I mean,
It's like a rock with some twigs and
probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You might want to go
Probably
back and try again. Maybe, one second thought, don't.
Back to the old drawing board.
Yeah.
But, it was just like, she was so proud. I made this.
That was the scariest thing of Beetlejuice to me, that art. Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
No, I can't say anything to me as a kid stood out as scary in Beetlejuice.
She got 4 years on me.
Yeah.
I was a wee lad the first time I saw those early scenes.
A lot of.
Yeah, and at that point, I thought I was watching like a legit horror movie because, in fact, I don't even know that I finished that initial run past those scenes. They were pretty hardcore for honestly, even for Burton at that time.
Yeah,
and the rest of the way the movie kind of calms down, and the effects are more comedic and they're good, but they're not serious. To me, those early scenes, they were serious. I don't know. It was years, I think, before I finished the movie.
and I'll be upfront and honest that horror movies in general are not my forte. They're not, and it's not because I'm scared. I mean, like as I said, as a kid, I was like, eh.
Yeah.
And of course, we had a mutual friend who grew up, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I was exposed to a lot of that stuff too as a kid, and it
was just never.
Horror movies don't do it for me. A lot of people watch them to like be scared or have that jump scare or whatnot, and there'll be people all around me going, ah, and I'm just like, what?
I mean, I'll just tell you, I went and watched Signs, the movie Signs, okay, in the theater. There was only one scene in that movie that actually was a scare, and it was just a jump scare. It was when the big alien hand was out from under the door and he chopped his fingers off.
Mm-hmm.
But like the other scenes where you like just see the alien kind of doing the whole out of focus Bigfoot walk.
The Bigfoot walk is exactly how I was going to describe that.
I was like, I don't understand. This is not scary. But you would have thought. Well, you would have thought that Pennywise himself had just jumped out the movie screen and was attacking the whole front, like 4 rows. There were so many people screaming.
There you go.
And I'm like, what in the world?
Just give them some of this. Since it's a Bigfoot, they'll be okay.
But so a lot of movies, like a jump scare. Yeah, okay, I can see doing some jump scares and stuff like that. Beetlejuice was one of those where at the very beginning there was a few jump scares kind of there. But then as the movie got on, it really did. It turned into more of a comedic. This is more funny. This is all for laughs.
It's almost like Burton was trying to find his footing as he was making it. But there's a very dramatic tonal shift, I feel like.
Now, it is my understanding that when it was first made, when they first did the scripting and it was first written, it actually did have a lot darker setting or motif to it.
Well, the whole movie, after, basically after the first few scenes, after their death, after they wreck their car and they die, the movie itself is just a darker tone. I mean, like the tone of the movie is dark anyway, just because of all the lighting and everything seems to be muted.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in the house and they're moving around, But the one place that it isn't, which I thought was kind of funny, was when they go to the afterlife, and they're sitting in the waiting room with the witch doctor and a shrunken head, you know,
The beauty pageant lady that got cut in half.
Yeah, the beauty.
Yep.
Oh well, was she a beauty pageant or was she a magician's helper?
You know, that never actually occurred to me until now. But I could have sworn that she had one of those.
The sash is what I'm remembering.
Yeah, so that's why I was like one of those beauty pageant contestants that has like, you know, Miss USA or whatever the case may be.
My unfortunate accident.
Yeah. And then when she'd smoke the cigarette, smoke would come out of her neck. Or she had her neck slit. The one dude who got run over, so he was all flat and he went into that little slit in the wall.
This is what happens when you die. This is what happens when they die.
Yeah.
It's all very personal.
All very personal. Here's your book.
I would still say it's probably my favorite Burton work. I mean, I like a lot of his stuff, but I gotta lean towards Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed. I mean, Beetlejuice is obviously one of those ones. It's just like they keep teasing that he's going to come back and they're going to do a Beetlejuice 2.
Just don't.
It's not teased anymore. They're doing it,
and I'm really hoping that they can just disregard like everything else that's going on and just say, okay, we're going to do a movie, that kind of like Top Gun Maverick, where they just do a movie.
Well, hire Tom Cruise to come in and work that witchcraft that he do, and let's see if he can inject some of that. And because otherwise, I just, we've said it before, I don't have much faith.
Hire Tom Cruise to come in and be a burnt to a crisp, black and charred Pete Mitchell waiting in the waiting room. I don't know, but no, they're going to do it. Michael Keaton's on board, Winona Ryder's on board again, and apparently, from my understanding, Johnny Depp is involved.
Well, that would be cool.
Well, Burton, I mean, like Johnny Depp seems to lend his talents to Burton quite a bit, actually.
Quite a bit, yeah.
And don't forget Helena Bonham Carter as well.
Oh yeah.
Like they're like a package deal.
Yeah. Oh, just about. I actually thought that there for the longest time. I thought that they were married.
All three of them?
No,
together.
Just Johnny Depp and
they live in Utah.
But no, I mean they are like a package deal. So,
and I thought it was kind of crazy because they just like wherever you see one, you see the other, and it's like okay,
yeah.
All right then. But now he was in pretty sure it was Johnny Depp that played in the one animated. It's kind of like a stop motion.
Which one?
Right.
Because he also did a bunch of those, I feel like, for
Corpse Bride.
Corpse Bride. There you go.
Thank you.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. So he was the voice, the main main character in that one, besides obviously not the bride, but he was the groom.
I think the bride was actually Helena.
Yeah, and I think the bride was actually
on
the bottom guard. So
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, you got that, and then you had see what else, which I actually like Corpse Bride. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun movie.
Okay.
It wasn't very scary.
I don't hate it.
It was not scary. It was a fun movie. I will say that. It was a fun movie.
Same.
Yeah.
I like the ending and the twist and who
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas, probably my second favorite.
That was another really fun movie. I had a lot of fun with that one.
Of course, you also got the original Batman. I know it's getting out of horror, but if we're just talking Burton,
yeah, I mean, if you're just talking Burton, which I mean, but you kind of went down that road. You went,
I know,
this is my favorite Burton movie.
At least I feel like he has a theme, And he has several cards, and he does replay them. But at least I don't feel like he got tired out. Because you're mentioning Signs. I feel like Signs was, even though it was good, I feel like that's where we first started to see the issues with M. Night Shyamalan.
You mean M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong?
Yeah.
Ding dong.
Yeah. However,
It's a twist.
I've never been able to, like Signs was good, but then like it was his next movie after that it was like you got 5 minutes in, you're like, I think I already know what's going on. This is
Well,
Village.
it got to where there was a the twist. It was like, oh,
With
this
the
is a plot
twist.
twist. It's a twist.
Yeah.
But and that's I mean, like there's a few movies like he has had some good movies.
Oh, yeah.
I think Sixth Sense is basically, you want to talk about a movie that one
I think probably is his best work.
that one had some scary, I mean, like just as far as like him, like the boy having to deal with some of these ghosts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That one had quite a bit of
well, and
hold on to your butts because this is going to be a rough ride.
Compared to his
Yeah.
other movies where there was, obviously the twist is his staple. I feel like The Sixth Sense is the one where he pulled it off at a master level that, like, that first viewing, he hit it. You just didn't see it coming. And then you rewatch it, and then you realize you can see it. I don't know. Everything else, he couldn't quite replicate it. And I don't know, maybe because people were looking for it. But yeah, I think Sixth Sense is probably his best work.
I see dead people.
I see dead people. Yeah. Poor old Bruce Willis.
Yeah, no.
Yippee-ki-yay. Mr.
But,
Falcon.
I think Voice kind of hits on something. Overall, as far as our little geek crew has been over the years, horror has never really been our staple. I'm very, very specific on the horror that I like. And it's only a very specific, couple of franchises or things.
Well, it's
I'm sitting here trying to think of because we used to go to movies as a large group and take up whole rows and things like that. And I'm trying to think of all the movies that we ever went and seen as a large group. None of them were really horror movies. The only one I guess you could consider a horror movie would have been a Freddy versus Jason when we went to the theater to see it.
That's the one I was getting ready to.
And that one was a blast.
I was thinking.
It was a blast. That was just funny.
That one was funny. It was,
but we knew kind of, we knew, they Freddy versus Jason was great, and but it played to it was almost kind of tongue in cheek to all the things that those franchises have been known for over the years.
And it put them together, and it did it so nicely.
But individually, I've never been a Freddy guy or a Jason guy, and I remember growing up, everybody, you would think in like elementary school, those are like the scariest movies ever made. And then when I finally, when I was old enough to actually watch them, I was just like, this is cheesy and hokey. But I understand now why you have this crowd that's like, you go to root for Jason, you go to root for Freddy and see what they're going to do. And it's like, but it's not really horror, I guess. I mean, it's in the genre. I'm not going to, it's where it's always been over the years. But as far as like legit scary, I don't know. But that was a lot of fun, and that probably is the only horror I think we've seen in a theater.
Yeah. We never got. I mean, I didn't care anything to go watch like any of the Saw movies or that's more gore.
Final Destination. We seen Final Destination in the theater. Does that count? I mean, I don't know.
In the genre, I think it's there.
I mean,
But-
here's the thing, because when you said Saw, it reminded me of Final Destination, and it's. I know we've had like up teen dozen Friday the 13th and up teen dozen Nightmare on Elm Streets, and then the thing is now you have all the Saw movies, and you've got all these Final Destination movies, and it's
Well,
really it's taking the same thing and just rehashing it over and over and over and over and over.
Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, they remade that movie, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with the first one.
Mhm.
I thought crazy, skin wearing, chainsaw wielding wild man out in the wilderness somewhere sawing people up for meat I figured that'd be scary enough.
Probably because where we live.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
You got a point.
go out there and look, that's
Well,
that's
and
Farmer
that's-
John going nuts again.
and I know you can make that argument about a lot of the stuff that we watch, but for some of those friends, it's just, I mean, it is like carbon copy, like the stuff they stretch to try and crank a sequel out of and generate a little extra. But that's the other thing, typically horror movies are cheap to make.
Scream.
It's easy cash, so
All you got to do is buy stock in Heinz or Hunt's, and you've got an endless supply of blood that can be eaten.
but
Mix it with a little bit more. What was it the corn syrup?
corn syrup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just mix it with a little more corn syrup, and then just have it just spew all over everywhere, like Evil Dead.
Told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what Evil Dead is one that has been in our
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness.
The Evil
Evil
Dead
Dead 1 and 2, basically the same guy takes another group of friends back to the same cabin. To have them,
Then they bring up Cabin in the Woods. I'm like, I've been there, done that.
Yeah,
it's like, yes,
Okay.
Bruce Campbell has already handled that situation. Thank you
Right.
very much.
There ain't no need to go back.
Don't need to go back there. In fact, the last time he went back there, he got tossed into an alternate, like I went back in time or some crap, alternate dimension. And
well, and that's the thing, because when we all did, if we did watch something, it was typically something off the beaten path or had some sort of like
it ended up with a cult following.
Yeah.
a cult following. Yeah, because I mean, I still remember the first time, we watched all that. It's like, man, we got to check this out. Everybody's talking about it, and good Lord, we ran with some of those jokes for forever.
Swallow your soul.
The dude at the end of the first one, the sounds like a lawnmower was shoved up his ass, and he shoots up, and you hear the lawnmower sort of,
Yeah. What was it? We was a midget on a motorcycle. That was the next. That was the next one. It was running through the woods. It's always like 2 foot off the ground, wherever it's like
wherever the camera angle was.
Here
Yeah,
comes Kleba. Here comes Kleba on his little hover round.
but yeah, I feel like that's what we looked for. We looked for stuff off the beaten path.
Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep.
Gosh, I have not watched
a-
that in years.
It's kind of a scuttling sound. You got he's sucking people's life essence out through their buttholes.
So as you can see, folks, our idea of horror lies more on the lines of comedy.
Comedy. Well, I mean,
It's one of those things
Ghostbusters.
of it's like you take something scary and then you just basically make a meme out of it.
yeah.
And
Well, that's what I've always liked about Ghostbusters. In the first one, really all of them, the first one, the second one, and Afterlife, there are very good, like, moments of genuine, like, horror, and scary scenes mixed with the comedy.
This is true.
In fact, I was just finished watching Ghostbusters 2 tonight, and
The
subway, one of my favorite scenes, scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I remember
Because they went full hardcore on that. The dang
They
heads
did.
on the pikes. And then
remember-
even when Winston, it's pretty demonic
train.
sounding.
I remember your mom took us to see that actually in the theater,
Yeah.
and
I
that
was actually
scene in the
laughing at that
subway
part.
hit with all those heads. I remember what happened. I won't go into it, but I remember what happened, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. I mean, it swerved harder than anything that was in the first Ghostbusters.
It did. I mean, we went from a Marshmallow Man to heads on pikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Town.
sure there was probably more than a few parents back then that because you got to think, the original Ghostbusters,
Lord Vigo.
a PG-13 comedy, and then the next one had come out, but by the second one, you had this extra surge of young lads and that had grown up on the real Ghostbusters cartoon. So now you had a bunch of kids that wanted to go see it. And yeah, 2 was definitely more family friendly outside of like that one scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Raphael saying "damn" amped up 100.
Still one of my favorite parts in the Ninja Turtles live action movie.
Damn.
Absolutely loved it. I mean, as a kid, though, things like that, I don't know. Maybe we kind of eat it up because it was considered more mature than what we were supposed to have or see, and then we were like, yes, I just
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was real hit and miss too. If like I did like catch a little something here and there, or catch, a brief moment of an R-rated movie or something growing up. It was, I did not do good with scary, like, I guess the body horror. Jump scares I did not do well with.
Yeah.
I still don't. Oh, I mean, I'll 100% admit, if I think there's a jump scare coming, I will look every other direction than the screen. And it's just something about, it's like, I'm not afraid of the content. It's the reaction. I hate that not being able to control myself. And so I can control it by not looking and waiting until I hear the music amp up. And then
Bark.
It's that heart-stopping moment.
Yeah. So yeah, I just did not do well with that. And like I said, body horror, which oddly enough, I can still remember, and they probably knew at the time. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Sneaking and catching like the last 5 minutes of Aliens. And for whatever reason, Bishop getting ripped in half did not trigger that. And it's probably because of the milk he's spewing, whatever the android blood bodily fluids is. Because I was just like,
lubricant.
Wait a minute. What's wrong with this guy? Why is he spewing milk everywhere?
What was he told a funny joke?
Yeah.
Coming out his nose.
But that was something with the times back then. And I don't know, maybe it's still that way, but I remember meeting a lot of the Aliens cast several years ago at a local con. And, that was kind of my thing. I always told them, I said, yeah, this is awesome getting to meet you guys. I totally watched decent portions of Aliens at a time that I shouldn't have. And they would all laugh. And I'm like, that's part of the course. We hear that a lot. But
we try to sneak a peek. It happens.
It happens.
I remember watching. It wasn't Alien, but Aliens, and that was the first Aliens movie that I had seen of the Xenomorph franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching that, and I remember I snuck down and watched part of it, and the part, of course, I watched of it was the part where they started the face huggers were jumping on people's faces.
Mm.
I just wanted a
And-
hug.
And MedLab.
Oh, I was scared out of my mind. I slept on my stomach with my face in my pillow for like 3 years because of that movie. They can't jump on my face if it's buried in a pillow.
If I suffocate myself in a pillow.
Yeah,
You know,
I can't breathe, but I'm not getting attacked by no face hugger. Damn it!
Yeah.
it's like getting attacked by an acid spitting fiend with an extra set of teeth or a face hugger. Well, I'll take the big acid spitting beast. I have a better idea.
Somehow I can wrap my mind around that better than that thing doing that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want part of that.
Alien.
And the fact that that's the thing is that the fact that it literally does look like two hands.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Come in with a big long whip tail.
Look, to me, it looks like a giant scorpion without the pincers.
Kinda. Yeah. Well, and the tail doesn't have a
it's got
finger.
the two,
No
like
sting.
the hands. They look like segmented like fingers,
Mhm.
just really really long.
Yeah,
But
you-
it
I mean,
looks
and you
like
get a
two
real-
hands because it goes across the top of the head and then around the sides too.
And you get that real good look at it in the first Alien,
Mm-hmm.
because they have all those scenes where it's on Kane, and you get a good close up look at it.
Yeah. No.
And there's
Ugh.
there's a franchise, and I don't care what people say. Aliens is horror as well. I know it takes more of an action shift, but yeah, that's one in my camp that I know my Aliens lore. Eat it up, love it. That is one of the few. Aliens and zombies are my two big. I love me some zombie movies.
Zombies just don't do it for me.
Don't do it.
No, because the thing is, if they just overdo it. Everything
have.
It's a zombie.
They have. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, there's not a lot from zombie stuff that I've watched in recent years, because yeah, you're right. They have. I'll agree. They've overdone it.
Oh, look, another show about zombies.
Okay.
Oh,
mean-
look, another movie about zombies.
Now, Walking Dead was good.
Oh, look, another game about.
Walking Dead. The first few seasons, I was cool with.
Zombies.
It does get off into.
But it turned into the whole, oh well, now you don't have to really worry about zombies. Yeah, there's still millions of those things creeping and crawling around, but you might fight one or two. But now this dude down the road with a freaking tank and a baseball bat with barbed wire around it, that's what you really need to be working on.
Because you know what? That actually shows just human nature. We could have this huge world-ending Armageddon apocalypse thing happening that if we just band together, we would be okay. No! No. Come hell or high water, we're going to fight each other to the bitter end.
That's what I like about Walking Dead, is because I do think they get that right.
Yep.
Absolutely. That is what the world would be. It would be a shit show.
It would be
with
that,
pockets
exactly.
of different people doing different things, and heaven help if they come across each other.
Yep.
And
Dog eat dog. Who can screw the other person over the best?
yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like that's the first thing I'd say is like, if you see another person, my first inclination now is don't wait to see if they're friendly. Just shoot them.
And then take their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, that's the only thing that I got out of the whole series. Was you see somebody you don't know,
Just shoot them.
just shoot them.
Hey,
Take
they
the
have
crap.
ammo.
Move on.
I mean,
Damn
is
it,
that
it's
is that not
22s. I
what
need 9mm.
is that not what DayZ became? It was this
Yeah.
game sold on this premise of, you're in the zombie world, but that's what every player did. Just immediately kill the other person, loot their stuff, keep going.
Yep. It's
But you're right, Lazy. You know, the earlier seasons of Walking Dead are my favorite because it is just it's like living in Romero's Dawn of the Dead world. And I say Dawn of the Dead because that is my favorite of Romero's zombie movies. But it's it's the long game of living in that world, and it just like it felt like a longer piece of that world and getting to see how things happen. But yeah, I love those earlier seasons of Walking Dead because it was just pure zombie. And then yeah, when they get to Alexandria, there's that shift. It's like season 6, I think.
You do have me wondering some things, though.
Uh-oh.
Zombie in film and television. When was the first instance in which zombies appeared in film?
Now that depends. There's
Your definition of zombie?
yes, I've seen this before, and I can't remember the exact, but there's like a black and white movie, I think in the 50s, but it's not a zombie. It's not the Romero zombie. The Romero zombie is kind of the birth of typically zombies as we know them. If I'm not mistaken, but there was other zombies prior to that, and it was more of the I think kind of off voodoo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So looking at someone by the name of Victor Halperin made a movie and released it in 1932, and it is often cited as the first zombie film, and it's called White Zombie. Hey, didn't that dude do a concert once?
So I was off by 20 years. I said 50s, but I knew it was black and white.
Something about being more human than human. I don't know. But anyway, in this White Zombie film, it is based off of a zombie that was a woman transformed into a zombie at the hands of an evil voodoo master. Bella Lugosi.
Suffering succotash.
Lugosi?
Bella Lugosi, thank you, stars as the zombie master.
Yep. I couldn't remember some of the specific details, but yeah, it's depends on your interpretation of zombie. I like my Romero zombies.
Yeah. So this one's your voodoo zombie, like the witch doctor from Diablo 3. Fetishes and totems and shit.
What about the Day of the Dead?
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. There you go.
Night, dawn, day.
Yeah. Night of the Living Dead in 1968. Dawn of the Dead 10 years later.
It took him a long time to get that sequel.
And then Day of the Dead in 85.
You know, a lot of people praise Day, but I'm not that big a fan of Day.
Night of the Living Dead, that one was freaking scary just because of the fact that the zombies, it didn't matter if you chopped its head off.
It kept going.
Didn't matter if you mushed its brain. That sucker was coming to eat yours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that one, you know, it had some intestines and some pretty gory stuff for 1960s. Yeah. That scene when they screw up, I think, trying to get the truck and get it loaded with gas. I think there's a fire and all this outside. You know, it was their big attempt, I think, to try and escape. And yeah, I think there's a scene you see, and it's just like intestines, and it's for 68, it's pretty graphic.
Now, if I had to say good, one of my a zombie movie that I did like, Shaun of the Dead.
See, that's another great example of the marriage of comedy and horror. And Shaun of the Dead does a few legitimate horror scenes really well. Love Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, when they pull the dude out the window.
Mhm. Oh, that was justice.
His intestines and pulling them out. I was sitting there thinking,
and
going, "Oh gosh!"
the whole movie, there's blood, there's bites, there's all this, and then they go all in on that dude's death.
Yeah,
Like
oh yeah.
none
Well,
of us were ready for that.
Oh, I
that
was.
dude though.
He was an asshole. I was
Oh no, I
so
mean,
ready for that.
no, I was ready for him to get it. I just wasn't ready for that level of gore when
Oh,
he
how he
gets
got
it.
it.
It's like,
Let's pull the
we know
shirt
you don't-
back and then see the fingers going into his stomach and
Ah.
You're just sitting there pulling it, just spreading the love, just woo. And he's out there going, ah.
yeah. Shaun of the Dead was amazing. And I remember because we saw that that was not a wide release. We had to go catch that over at Downtown 8
Yeah.
over
Yeah,
next
that's
to
right.
West Town.
They didn't have it wasn't going to be shown, but just
Nope.
I think that was it. I think that was the
That
only
was
theater it was going to be shown in
Downtown
locally.
Cinema 8 was where we had to go. I've been there numerous times for a few of those off the road. Some of them more quiet releases. Some of them were actually somewhat like they had a lot of fanfare behind them, but still just didn't pick up a mass release. I saw Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust there. We're talking about scary,
Yep.
Anime. Love Vampire Hunter
Yeah.
D.
Vampire Hunter D.
And that is a franchise. It's criminal how they have not produced more off of that.
There's
like 40. There's like 40 something books.
Yeah. There's a lot of books.
A plethora of material that they could do off of D, and we've got 2 movies. 2 movies. It's criminal.
The only thing that I don't, it's like the animation style on that was the only thing that I ever really had kind of I was kind of like, I'm not really fond of the animation style.
Yeah.
But it lends itself to the world really well.
That gothic, yeah.
Very
Bloodlust. I'm with you.
Which,
normally I'm not a fan of that style because it's like Aeon Flux.
Yeah. More sharp, like the way people are drawn. They're just more like their facial features are more sharp.
Mm-hmm.
They're more thin, kind of, in some cases almost sickly looking. Because of just the way their face is drawn.
Yeah.
But now, and honest to goodness, I think they did kind of take the cues from it. But just to try to bring a correlation, the Netflix show that they did, not Vampire Hunter D, but Castlevania. Sorry, I was trying to swallow. Castlevania.
Like dramatic pause.
And it's actually just my internet crapped out. No. Castlevania on Netflix.
Definitely took some cues, I feel like, from
especially Dracula's Castle.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Dracula's Castle and then you look at
the Castle in Bloodlust.
In Bloodlust, yeah. I'm almost identical as far as how the spires and just where it looks like a big freaking machine.
Yeah. Well, and I'm kind of partial, so I'm pretty diehard on this right now because I've been going through the books, actually, audio version because I can't sit down and read anything.
Can't read. We know.
I can't read.
Okay.
But I am on. So Bloodlust, the book is actually called Demon Death Chase, which sounds way cooler.
Yeah,
I think it's Demon Death Chase, but it's actually the 3rd book. And the 1st book is actually the original anime we got back in the 80s. So, we've already skipped the 2nd book, which I'll be honest, after getting through it, I can kind of see why they didn't do it. It wasn't bad, but it was definitely not the 1st and the 3rd. So that's as far as I am right now. I'm still actually going through.
I've read the first one and most of the second one.
The second one gets weird.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
and following along on audiobook, it's because it's usually when I'm driving. It was kind of hard to follow sometimes.
yeah,
The second one.
I don't want to say that there was a little bit of rereading, but there was a little bit of having to back up and reread some of the pages again, just to try to figure out exactly, okay, how did this kind of tie into that?
Right.
Did I miss a step, or did we just teleport?
But for all the love of anime and the explosion that it has seen the past 30 years here, yeah, I keep scratching my head about why we have not got more Vampire Hunter D.
I'm honestly surprised that one of these bunch of assholes over at Netflix or Hulu hadn't tried to pick it up, or Amazon. Just to be perfectly honest, I'm surprised they hadn't tried to make a series out of it.
I mean, they've got a lot of material to work with. Now, a few things I did read towards, like I said, as I'm looking, it's 40 something books, maybe not quite 40, but there's a lot. And some of them are kind of like, oh, okay, we're at a point now. It's kind of like, should we maybe wrap this series up already?
It's going to be the One Piece of Dompier.
Yeah. Well, and one gripe was like, how many times do we have to continue to describe D as this beautiful young man? Even I'm starting to kind of get that. It's like, okay, we're 3 books in. I get it.
It looks good.
He looks good. He does not age.
He's a very good-looking man.
He's beautiful.
Well, he ages just extraordinarily slowly.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean, though. It's just like
he got all the best traits.
Now I feel like this book is just making fun of me. Okay, I get it. I'm not a good-looking person. Leave me alone.
I'll just tell you though, from the Vampire Hunter D, there was one of the guys that he had to fight, and the anime didn't quite do him justice, but it was that nasty old dude that had bugs that flew out of his back.
Sounds like Beelzebub.
I'm drawing a blank.
The Lord of Flies.
You don't remember the guy? He's like a demon guy. He ended up splitting him in half with his sword.
Well, he splits a lot of people in half with his sword.
I mean, that's literally what he did.
Was it the first book or the third book? Or first movie or second movie?
It would have been the second movie on Bloodlust. I'm pretty sure, because he was one of the ones. He was one of the ones I think that was slated to take.
Was he with the Village of the Barbaroi?
Yeah, I think he was.
I'm just drawing a blank.
What year was it made?
Bloodlust? I can't remember. You can actually stream it on YouTube. Just search Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. There's a few full copies, because it's actually kind of hard to find a copy of it.
Yeah.
And the original.
2000 Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust.
But yeah, I think a few folks have uploaded it on YouTube. That's how I rewatched it recently, because all I had was an old DVD, and I don't even know where that went. And so, but yeah, you can find them on YouTube. It's about the only place you can find them to stream. Without, like I said, you can get on Amazon. You can still buy them DVD and Blu-ray, but it's just they're harder to get.
Let's see here.
Now, what I did think was done dirty was the anime version of Rei Gensei from the first movie, the first book. Because he was way cooler in the book. than you know how it was done at the first movie. But so anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think. Of course, you also got Helsing.
Oh yeah.
As far as horror anime goes.
Well, see, now the first thing that pops in my mind now of Helsing is Hugh Jackman.
The Hugh Jackman one.
Yeah,
That movie gets a lot of hate, but
it does. It was actually pretty good.
But I had fun with it.
It had Robbie Coltrane in it.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Hagrid.
I know.
Sad.
That was sad. And it's funny, I had just recently posted about him and Liam Neeson because they were both in Krull and didn't realize it was them. Very, very young at the time. And yeah. I just posted about that, and then here we get the news about Coltrane.
I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, Helsing, you got that for good horror anime. Those are the big ones that jump out at me. But back to I guess kind of the movie realm. Alien franchise. Of course, it kind of took a tank. It crashed. Honestly, after Aliens, Alien 3 is crap. I don't care. It's just garbage. So
tell us how you really feel.
I just remain a diehard on the first two, and maybe some comics and the games, but it is what it is. I like my zombie stuff, but really, that's about it. Well, and Vampire Hunter D. I would say I'm diehard Vampire Hunter D, and and I guess a lot comes from video games too. We talked a lot about Castlevania last episode. So I guess a lot of my other horror stuff just comes from video games.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
There's a
train
wreck of a movie franchise.
Yeah, I'm not even going to start on that movie franchise.
The first two were okay.
As much as I like Nelia,
the first two were okay.
Right.
The first one was nothing like had next to nothing to do with the original game. Then the second one was, they did combine the second and third games, and they brought in a lot of game stuff. And honestly, I like the second one, I think, better than any of them. And then it just becomes a train wreck from there of just random dartboard plot points slapped together with a little bit of sticky tape or something, and
go there, and then they
man, they just go nowhere. But I will say the first two were okay. The animated Resident Evil movies actually do a lot better, from what I understand. But there was a thought process. I was going to go somewhere on Resident Evil, and I have lost it. But shoot, what was it? Dad, burn it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I was hearing like this clicking, rapid fire clicking, and I was like, "Is that coming from me? Where's that coming from?"
It's the Predator.
It's behind me.
It's doing that Predator clicking sound. He's behind you.
That was Peter Cullen, by the way, that did that sound.
Really?
Yep.
That's funny.
There's your random voice fact of the day.
There you go.
Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, did the Predator sounds. So,
yeah, the Resident Evil games and movies brought in a lot of fear, because we didn't really touch on that, last one while we were still covering games. But yeah, there's just It's definitely a massive mountain of bad when you talk about the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah. But we'll have to admit, I know, earlier I said that jump scares, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't really jump scare. I will have to admit, playing Resident Evil, when that damn dog jumped through that window, oh yeah, I jumped.
That is
Ooh-wee.
a classic
Classic moment.
moment. I don't know
definitely
anybody that didn't, because that was the first jump scare of the game.
Mhm.
The first, I mean, it was just, otherwise you'd enter a room, you'd hear the zombie moan, you'd cautiously go in, use your tank control, turret control,
Right.
whatever,
Those controls were horrid.
and then that narrow hallway, it got everybody.
It had. I don't know of anyone who had not jumped at that dog jumping through the window.
Gosh. Never trust a hallway in that franchise again. I guarantee you
Ever.
that.
Never, ever again did I trust a hallway. It's like, this hallway is too damn quiet.
Yep.
I
And
don't
narrow.
like it. And narrow. And there's a window.
Narrow.
There's a window there. It's a quiet, narrow hallway. I don't like it.
It's a trap. I remember what I was going to say in regards to Resident Evil now.
You're welcome.
I did read the original George Romero script for what could have been the first Resident Evil movie, and it was good. They put in somebody that I mean, it was just it involved the original characters. It had the Romero zombie know-how and knowledge to it.
Mhm.
Much closer to the original game.
And of course, they didn't go with it.
And
I mean,
I really don't know why Capcom didn't. I don't.
Well,
I think it's probably out there. It's probably listed why. But I remember it came out online before the actual first Resident Evil movie came out, and because that was kind of the back of my mind as I was watching what we did get the first time, and I was like, what? Why are we going down this road doing all these stupid things that have nothing to do with the first game?
I can tell you exactly why.
Hollywood sucks.
It followed the normal video game to movie curse.
Yeah.
Whenever they make a movie based off of a video game, it has absolutely jack shit to do with its source material.
Yeah.
Up to this point, still today, I swear by it that Mortal Kombat is the closest. The original one from the 90s is the closest to its source material.
That movie does not get the love it deserves.
It does not.
It really don't.
The Mortal Kombat remake, I didn't dislike it. I thought it was all right. I thought it was good. But it's another movie that's deviating from the original source material.
And
Look
there's
at all these movies: Street Fighter, Double Dragon, Dead or Alive,
Street Fighter,
Super Mario Brothers with Bob Hoskins.
Oh gosh, that movie.
It can just go on and on. They for lack of a better
Hollywood
term, they fuck it up every time. Kind of makes me mad. Sorry.
No. Hey, I get it. I mean, I have my Hollywood rants. The shit they do now. The way they do it. But yeah, it. I need to look. I don't think I do have it anymore. I kept the file. I still had the original Romero script for a while, and it was just. Well, there was even a book series that they did off of Resident Evil. And, basically each one was a game, and then they had like a couple other books, kind of still within the parameters of the world. And I read the first one, and it was a great adaptation of the first game with a lot of great added detail. That would have made a good movie. Shoot that.
Right.
And now you have what Netflix has been trying to do, and Hollywood, because they did Res Evil, the full movie, and then there was the Res Evil Netflix series. And it's crap that keeps getting canceled because they just don't pay attention, they don't listen. Netflix they don't. I don't know, they don't get it. Same thing with Cowboy Bebop. Like, they're just trying to mass produce this crap without paying attention to what worked, and then they want to inject their own crap into it. I think you know what I mean.
I do.
But
what
yeah,
words start with W and end in E?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop was the same thing. I got through one episode of that crap and said no. Changes for no reason. Whatever. What else you guys got? Like I said, we know horror is not a particularly deep well for us. But what we do like, it's high on our list. I mean, it's like it's very specific. Here's one. And actually, I think it was the premise. We were going to try and make it the premise for the whole episode. Monster Squad.
Yes. we ended up just kind of tossing that idea, though, because it's been a minute since any of us have actually watched it.
But hey, we're doing a high level view of horror with this episode. So until we can rewatch it and do a deep dive. Monster Squad's it's a fair game. I think it's definitely in that. It's definitely in that camp of, again, what really works for us, our group, is that marriage of comedy and horror.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, even to this day right now, the two biggest things that stand out to me on Monster Squad are, one, I love how Frankenstein has his moral dilemmas and actually is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
and two, Wolfman's got nards.
Wolfman's got nards.
Wolfman's got nards.
Kick him in the nards. Does Wolfman have nards? Wolfman's got nards.
Yeah, it was like that was one of those movies. It was like Goonies and Ghostbusters meet the Universal monsters.
Yeah, it does give that motif off, and again, it's another great use of the Universal classic monsters that we had brought up, because when we talked about Castlevania, we brought up that it used those creatures and had that in the game. So I mean, it's another good use of those classic monsters. So
and gory. They were not super gory, but there was blood. I mean, fair amounts of blood in it.
Nothing to write home about, but enough.
But yeah, I mean, it's still scary enough. I mean, the guy that played Dracula made a great Dracula. Wolfman's transformation. He was a scary Wolfman.
Yeah, he was.
He was a pretty scary Wolfman.
I don't even recall who did all those parts. Let's see.
You gonna pull it up?
I'm gonna pull it up. Monster Squad.
Yeah. And like so many great 80s movies, it had a theme song.
Oh, wow. That was actually a TV series. This is about the TV series for the film See the Monster Squad. I'm not going to look at the TV series.
I missed that note.
Yep. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, it's kind of like, for years, it was just like Ghostbusters. Why are they called the real Ghostbusters? Oh, there was this other Ghostbuster group that had a gorilla that rode around this car, and it was just
that talked and was goofy.
What? It's no wonder I need to be told what the real Ghostbusters were. Doing your wikiing.
Yeah, these are not names that are.
No, there's really not. Really not. With it.
I mean, a good portion of these didn't go much beyond.
Monster Squad.
Yeah. Well, Tom Noonan, he was Frankenstein's monster.
Okay. Well, now I do remember. I think the dad of the main character, the guy he was a cop. I know I've seen him in a few things throughout the years.
Stephen Mocked.
Not a big actor, but I know I've seen him in a few things.
Filmography. Scarecrow and Mrs. King. These are that's a TV series. He's in one episode. Columbo. He was in a lot of series.
Well, he's one of those guys that just pops up a lot, you know. One of those, well, I guess character actors, what they say, but you know, it's like you just always see him popping up. I mean, it's kind of like the one terrorist dude in Die Hard that is like the he's the Asian representation of terrorist or bad guys in any movie when they need an Asian terrorist. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do, but the name is not coming to mind.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, he became known.
I got him.
You can see his face.
Yeah.
I can see his face. Yeah. But yeah, no, Monster Squad definitely. I have it on DVD. I don't know that I ever got it on Blu-ray. I keep trying to find a way to watch it for you know, the Halloween season and all of that. But you know, actually skipping over kind of, or not really skipping, bouncing back to Ghostbusters. Since I mentioned the real Ghostbusters, that cartoon series had some great moments of both. I mean, they kept the comedy, but they also had some horror moments. And I think later episodes of Real Ghostbusters got pretty silly. But there's some early stuff that I've always argued could have and should have been additional Ghostbuster movies with the live action guys.
You know, I kind of see that point as well, because I think one of my favorite episodes of the Real Ghostbusters cartoon is the one where they came in to the firehouse right after fighting
Citizen Ghost
and the Marshmallow Man. Yeah, and their costumes or their suits that they had at the time was still covered in all that guck and what have you from the end of the movie, and they just tossed them into like a box or container or whatever. And
it was all because Venkman. I think it was Venkman forgot to clean them.
Yeah. Ghost versions of themselves ended up forming in them, and they had to take them out.
It was the explanation for why they changed their uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
No, Citizen Ghost is a great episode. The Boogeyman, Sam Hain, Ragnarok and Roll is just the name of the episode. But the way that episode towards the end of it, it's the one. Remember the guy? He gets the flute and he plays it, and it starts to summon this monster out of the sky, and he's going to bring about the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that one got pretty serious at the end. They're like, because they were like getting ready to I think basically detonate the packs and blow it.
A lot worse than crossing the streams.
But yeah, Ragnarok and Roll. The Real Ghostbusters brought in a lot of stuff that I feel like if I don't know, if we had kind of the mentality that we have today back then, Sony would have just been like, make a movie off of it.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
I'm starting to think Lazy's actually lost connection there.
I think he's just asleep.
He probably is. You know, he said something like that could happen in our
yeah, we got an early start tonight.
I know. I was about to go into it, and we said we would make fun of him if he did.
See, I was smart. I had a cup of coffee. because actually I was ready to pass out about an hour and a half ago.
I had some
before
sweet tea. So
before we got started. Oh, sweet.
I had a
a
Pepsi.
little bit of sweet tea.
But yeah, a lot of good real Ghostbusters stuff that should have been, I feel like, movies. And my hope for this is that since Ghostbusters is back, they're making another one. In Afterlife, there was a ghost that pops out of one of the buildings that was a figure from the real Ghostbusters toy line.
So the one that was eating the pipes, the metal.
No,
No?
that one, Muncher's a new creation for Afterlife. It's a real quick, like he pops out of the side of a building, but it's a purple ghost, and he's got a big eyeball, and the eyeball pops out.
I remember the toy. How
He's
did I miss that in the movie?
He's in Afterlife.
Really?
Popped right out at me. I was like, "There's a toy, real Ghostbusters line." So my hope is, some folks are paying attention, and there's, oh God, I'd lose my mind if the next Ghostbusters movie brought in Sam Hain or the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman was a pretty scary episode, and I don't know if it was just because of the voice actor, the voice acting for Boogeyman. But no, I would love to dive into that because I think there's just some great material based off of that. And of course, Boogeyman was voiced by somebody you'll know, Frank Welker.
Yeah, should have known it.
I mean,
what in the hell hasn't he been in?
He's voiced everything.
I mean, heck,
So.
he was in Corpse Bride.
Mm-hmm.
He was Zero.
Yeah.
He was the dog.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is pretty well kind of really my October. Now, if I have live TV going, if I can catch a channel that does like the just 24 hours of Halloween movies here, for this month, I will leave something on. Just, I don't know, not that I fully pay attention, but just to have something spooky, Halloweeny playing.
Background noise.
Yeah, background.
Okay.
But it's like nothing that I would go out of my way and watch either. Like, when AMC does their Fear Fest, like, I love when they have their Halloween day, their Friday the 13th day, their Nightmare on Elm Street day. But like, I would not just go out of my way and say, I want to watch this and turn it on. But if it's that background noise, then I love to have that on and just kind of let that be part of the ambiance or whatever for, the Halloween month or whatever.
You might as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it's yeah, I think we've kind of learned. We have comedic horror is our niche and what we appreciate in this geek crew. So
Oh yeah.
You have all kinds of horror out there anyway. I mean, you're normal.
There's all kinds of horrors out there. You're right.
There is a lot of horrors out there.
Unfortunately.
It reminds me. Sorry, it's just a story. We were in high school in English class, and our English teacher wanted us. She said, "I want you to write a horror story." And of course, a friend of mine raises his hand, and he's like, and she's like, "Yeah, question." He goes, "How many horrors do you want in it?"
Yep. This is why.
How'd that go?
Yeah, about as well as you expect.
Okay.
Our teachers had no sense of humor back then.
No.
Nowadays, I think a teacher would actually probably laugh at it.
I know I would have. And then I'd probably gotten fired.
Yeah. You were saying, Lazy? What you got?
So,
Dramatic pause.
I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
This is the guy that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's him.
That's the guy. Okay. So talking about that dude, And then in the movie, we had. Let me do. I'm doing all kinds of awesome stuff here. Technology.
It's great. And the thing is Frank Welker also did Slimer and Ray in the
Yeah.
cartoon. So,
and yet Ernie Hudson couldn't get Winston because he wanted to.
I don't get it.
I was like, what the hell?
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, you know what? Honestly, in the Transformer movies, I don't think they would have had Peter Cullen in if there wasn't such a large demand
Oh,
for
I
it.
know.
Is that is that coming through? You see that?
Yep. Yeah, there it is.
Yep. There's the Bug Eye Ghost.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was indeed from the Kenner's Real Ghostbusters line, toy line.
Yep.
I'll be dipped.
So
that little nod gave me all the hope in the world that we will see more. Yeah. And dive into that stuff. Like I said, Sam Hain needs to happen. Because I'm on my Ghostbusters kick anyway. I'm building the proton pack right now. But I've said I would love to find a way to do a Sam Hain cosplay and like rig it. I mean, it'd be tall. Like it wouldn't be like just me at my height, but like I would try and rig up some real puppetry kind of stuff and have this tall, flowing robes, wicked looking Sam Hain. I'd love to do that or see somebody do that someday. But yeah, Sam Hain needs to happen,
especially around Halloween.
Yeah, but we'll see what they cook up with the next movie.
Ichabod Crane, the headless horseman looking mother hunter.
Oh, there you go, Sleepy Hollow.
Johnny Depp once again. Here we go.
Just have Johnny Depp.
Who knew?
That was enjoyable. I mean, I know it took some liberties with Ichabod and stuff and a bunch of other things, but I really did enjoy that just for the dark, gritty, gothic, gory. I mean, it was
that was it a tree that had all the blood in it coming through it? Yeah. And Christopher Walken is the
headless horseman.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a fun one.
He filed his teeth down.
That was actually pretty badass. Him dual wielding those axes and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
that was a fun movie. It had Emperor Palpatine in it.
Yes.
It also had Uncle Vernon in it. Or maybe at least his ancestor or something. I don't know.
Well, and then, yeah. Anyway, I don't know how I was going to go with that. But, yeah, it was another one.
Had the Alfred in it.
Had Alfred. That's right.
Original Alfred. Well, maybe not the original Alfred, but the 1960s Alfred, I'm sure, was long dead by then.
Well, and then, let's see here. If I'm not mistaken. Well, it also had Charles Dietz from Beetlejuice.
It did.
Jeffrey Jones, who, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he get in some bad trouble? I think. Like of the really bad kind.
Charles Dietz.
I'm looking it up now. Criminal offenses. Yeah. He got into the bad, really, really bad trouble. Was arrested for possession of child pornography and accused by a 17-year-old boy of solicitation to pose for nude photos. Yeah, he did bad things. I remember that.
Way to go there, Jeffrey.
What's that?
Didn't I bring that up on one of our earlier
On a previous one?
podcast. Yeah.
It's completely possible. I've
It's
slept
possible,
since
or it
then.
was someone else. Unfortunately, Hollywood has its share
They're full of them.
of yeah, really bad people. I don't know if it was Jeffrey Jones or someone else. I feel like it was someone else, but yeah, Jeffrey Jones was also in Sleepy Hollow. So
And Ferris Bueller's Days Off.
yep, kind of makes the principal scene at the end of that movie on the bus a little creepier.
It does.
If you go back and watch that now, it really makes it creepy.
And him stalking outside Ferris Bueller's house. Home. I tried to do
Hoose.
home, but then house at the same time,
His-
and it came out
his
with
Moose.
His hoose.
Wake
There's
up,
a,
little lazy kid.
there's a moose loose in the hoose.
There's a moose loose in the hoose.
We all know
We
what
all
we're
know,
talking
if you
about
know, you
for
know.
that one.
Turn out that light. Oh man.
All right. Well, I think we've pretty well covered our high, like I said, a high level, overview of our horror taste.
Yeah.
Scary.
Or lack thereof.
For you,
Well,
true
as a
horror
whole, like
fans,
because I know some people that eat up the horror genre
movies, yeah. I mean,
as
I
a
know,
whole, all
I
of it.
know a few people. And for those of you that I know, you true horror fans, we're sorry, we're just not that into it.
At least as far as movies, I mean, we do like our scary games
we like our games.
more than anything, and that, but yeah,
Well, we had old Zesty Geek on a few weeks ago, a month ago now. We discussed some anime, but when I was talking to him, I actually talked to him earlier, and I was like, "Hey, you want to join in on this one?" He was like, I just really don't watch horror movies."
well, I'm
So
sure he
neither
had.
do we.
Well, and he still
And I was
could have
like, "Well,
joined.
neither we."
He still could have joined because as we've learned, we still have some horror taste and knowledge. It's just very refined and specific to what we watch.
We're
So
not horrors.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
but no, he still could have joined in on that, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he would have loved the
uh,
talk of Vampire Hunter D.
Right. Here's the
Yeah.
thing:
Oh,
is
yeah.
if we ever do an anime episode, I see because I don't know much about anime. I don't. Very select few animes. So
Dragon Ball.
if there's ever if there's ever an anime episode, he can take my place.
There we go.
I mean,
Either that, or we'll give you enough leadway. You can
watch
you can get
something.
you can watch
you need
something.
to go watch some anime, boys.
So we're going to do an episode on One Piece. I'm going to need you to go ahead and catch up on that. And
That ain't happening.
Hey, it ain't happening to me.
I know
either.
enough about it to know what that is and how much there is. So no, that ain't happening.
That's,
5 years from now.
I got a better chance catching up on Bleach than I do One Piece.
Well, speaking of Bleach,
yeah, they're coming back out.
They're going to
it's already out.
Yep.
It's on Hulu. I actually need to get caught up.
Yep.
Caught up. I've seen the first episode. So
I actually haven't, and the only reason I haven't is because, well, it's kind of like one of those things. Once you break the seal, I'll be trying to watch it every week.
what's wrong with that?
I hate
You can
waiting
add it to
week
your
week.
watch list in Hulu.
No, I don't
It'll
want
send
to.
you a notification.
I want to binge it. I
I
want to
kind
watch
of
all of
understand
it back
though.
to back to back to back.
I understand though, because the very day Cobra Kai season 5 hit,
You were done,
I was done. I watched every bit of it. Whoosh, done.
and then it's over. Yeah.
But I liked what I saw, and the ending. I'm still
Like,
happy with Cobra Kai. All 5 seasons, I'm still happy.
I've still got to watch season 4. I took a long break about halfway through season 3, and
Dude.
meant to get back to it, and I just couldn't get coordinated enough to watch it. But yeah, I need to. I finished 3. Need to get back on, catch back up. So it's
I
My dream match happens in season 5. So
okay,
I haven't watched any of Cobra Kai.
oh my god,
dude.
Sorry.
that hurts my heart.
Hey, there's a future episode. We need to.
No,
we can talk Karate Kid.
no,
No, Karate
no,
Kid.
Mr. Miyagi. No, Mr. Miyagi.
Well,
No, Cobra Kai.
Here's the
But
thing: he's not physically there, but I damn well guarantee you he is there.
his presence is in this series.
He is there
completely.
in spirit, wholly in
Yeah.
spirit. Guarantee it.
It's good. I do need to get back and finish it.
His character, his spirit, the entire series. It's a continuation of the first Karate Kid movies, yes, but I can kind of see it as an homage to him
Mm-hmm.
because of what's there. And then just the characters they bring back and the connections they all have, it's worth it. It is so worth it. So worth it.
Well, I may have to watch it then.
You really should.
And it's hilarious too.
It is funny.
It is hilarious.
It is
Johnny
funny.
Lawrence, you will be rooting for Johnny Lawrence.
Well, and they, he's typical one-dimensional in the first movie, and then you get all this development for him. Like you really do root for him.
Mm-hmm. And they even go back and kind of like how the Dragon Ball superheroes movie touched on things that fans would pick on and catch and be like, well, why didn't they just use the Dragon Ball? So they kind of do that in Cobra Kai. It's like the whole thing of the first Karate Kid movie. It was a kick to the face. It face contact illegal, and it's something they talk about and they touch on it and they bring it up, and it's like, hey, isn't this the guy whose ass you kicked in the karate tournament? Technically, I kicked his face.
True.
And so, I mean, they touch on all of this stuff, and it's
Yeah.
great.
The creators of Cobra Kai have done their homework, unlike most of
Yes.
Hollywood.
Unlike
They've
most-
done their homework about the show they're producing, and the characters and the world. As silly as it is, I mean, based off a silly '80s franchise, they did their homework.
They did. And even familiar sets, familiar places from the movies come back. You see them again. It's worth it. I really encourage you and urge you to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Does Jackie Chan show up?
No, Jackie Chan does not show up.
That's an alternate universe. That's like,
yeah, it's that was not the Karate Kid. That was the Kung Fu Kid.
yeah, that's a different.
There was not an ounce of karate in that movie.
That's the multiverse of the Karate Kid universe. So yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Two different martial arts styles.
Yeah, we don't talk about the Jackie Chan one as much as I love Jackie Chan.
I mean, I thought it was a good movie. It was a good rehashing, but it's not the original.
Yeah.
Sad.
So anyway, yeah, we've gone from horror to
Karate.
It's all right.
Par for the course.
So yeah, well, I think we're probably at a good wrap up point here. We've hit the point, the highlights, the high level, mile high overview of our takes on horror.
This
We
has
may,
to be.
what we are familiar with, though, we may take a deep dive down the road. But kind of sticking with the general theme, for this month's episodes, we just want to kind of just talk in general terms.
Yeah, I mean, it'd kind of be nice to get back together and I don't know, go through the Evil Dead movies again, or go through Freddy versus Jason again and watch it all together or whatnot. So I don't know. You never know.
We may do that. Alien and Aliens.
Just real quick, I want to throw one more movie in.
Uh-oh.
One more. Nobody even touched on, and I'm surprised The Voice didn't do it. He didn't do it, and I'm very disappointed in you for this.
Oh boy,
Ernest Scared Stupid.
that's true.
And
Okay, yeah, I'm
just watched
disappointed
that.
in myself.
And I just watched that because I have searched high and low because that's another one of those. I don't know if it's the rights or how they do, because you can find a lot of other Ernest movies readily available. I don't know if they did a different company with this and it screwed up the rights, similar to how you can't find George Romero's Dawn of the Dead for your life. But YouTube, right now, official YouTube, and I'm not talking somebody uploaded it. If you go to the movie section of YouTube, Ernest Scared Stupid is out there. Watched it the other night.
Yep.
There you go.
But you're right. I loved Ernest Scared Stupid.
Though I have to say, it was good. I do love Ernest Scared Stupid. I love all the Ernest movies, but my favorites were Saves Christmas and Goes to Camp.
Yes.
Those
Original Ghost Camp. That was the first in a long line.
Mm-hmm.
But like Goes to Prison, that one was funny.
That was
Scared Stupid for a Halloween one, but Saves Christmas is also one of my, I mean, it is right up there with the Santa Claus as far as like Christmassy type fun type movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, no, good call. I can't believe I missed it. Like I said, I watched it literally just the other day because I was so excited because it was officially on YouTube. First place I had seen in forever where you could find it. In fact, I don't know if YouTube just got like the Ernest license or something. They've got a bunch of Ernest stuff in their movie section. Some of it I have never even seen before.
Oh, there's a lot of Ernest movies out there. They're a lot more than people think.
Yeah. They even grabbed up the obscure stuff. So check it out.
The Ernest Family album, which is that was the first, not the first thing that I saw of Ernest. Obviously, Ernest P. Worrell, or hey Vern, that's what people know him for. He was actually just doing commercials, and I can remember him from the commercials before he made it big.
He started off doing car dealership commercials, dealership
commercials, and then Yellow Pages and Milk and Sprite, and I mean, like he did all kinds of commercials.
Yeah,
and then he did a little movie. Well, not really a movie, but it was a compilation of different things. It was Ernest P. Worrell's Family album, and he goes through and talks about some of his family members, and he's got one that was worked at the carnival, and he was the like the scrambler. He was the one that ran the scrambler ride at the carnival, and so he was a cool dude. And then he had his uncle, who was the possibly the meanest man in the world, with his son Mistake. Mistake, Mistake, come on in here and get you some dinner. What's for dinner, Daddy? Get you some of that sketty. Sketty.
And the thing, and a lot of people recall Jim Varney on doing the Ernest role and the silly things that he did. And boy, this is a real big sidetrack. But
Atlantis.
He was very versatile. I mean, he was. A lot of people may say, like, you're crazy for saying this, but I kind of put him there with Robin Williams versatile. Quite honestly.
He did a lot of voice acting.
Yeah.
Well,
like a fair amount.
It's almost like, because there towards the end, he had started to really branch out away from the Ernest character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if he hadn't got taken from us so soon,
he'd have done a lot more.
He probably, I could see him very, very easily have hit like a crazy surge, and probably had a lot of potential that just went untapped, and could have went really far.
And he did phenomenal as Jed Clampett in the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the end credits, the
yeah,
Hot
he
Rod
did.
Lincoln. He sang that entire song of the Hot Rod Lincoln for the end credits.
Rod Lincoln.
Well, I
You're
mean,
gonna drive me
let's
the
not
drinking to
forget
Hot
he was
Rod-
also
Hot Rod Lincoln. Yeah,
he was Slinky Dog.
he was Slinky Dog. Yeah,
He was the Slinky Dog. He was also the Cookie from Atlantis, the Lost Empire, or Atlantis.
Yeah, I think he was just getting started, and kind of slowly starting to get out of the earnest stuff. And
then
yeah.
cancer. I mean, the man smoked like a freight train. He did, and it caught up with him.
Yep, he did too.
Yeah,
it caught up with him.
Well, I think we're at a pretty good spot tonight, guys.
I do too. I got some more demons to kill.
I may be on. I don't know. We'll see.
I got more demons to kill. Well, okay.
We were talking anime. I downloaded the Tubi app on the Xbox and was kind of looking through because it's like everything's free. It's all ad. You don't have to plug anything in. We got this big selection, and I was like, well, okay, I'll see what you got. So go to anime, and I found a bunch of old stuff. Like goes back to Sci-Fi Channel days of anime. Like first
Lupin
place,
third.
Lupin. First place. Well, Lupin really wasn't sci-fi, but it's still old. It's hard to find sometimes.
Yeah.
But Iria Zerum.
Bless you.
Had not seen that since the sci-fi days, and they've got Iria on there, and I hadn't seen that one in forever.
Sci-fi just isn't sci-fi anymore.
No.
Well,
no. But yeah, I may go check out what other anime gems from the olden days I can dig up there. We'll see.
Sci-fi went from showing good shit like the Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers, to showing shit like Sharknado.
I know.
Hey, don't be talking about Sharknado.
No.
That's some scary stuff right there.
Just no.
I mean, a water spout picking up sharks and then slinging them all over town.
No. Just no.
There was another movie that was a sci-fi movie that came out, and it was, I'm trying to think, it was around the same time as Sharknado.
What was it? Piranha? I don't even know if that was a sci-fi.
They have come up with
it was something else, but it was something. But it was, oh gosh, it was bad. I mean, it was like B-movie bad.
I don't know. I
Or
think
like
some
worse than
sci-fi
B-movie
stuff
bad.
you got to go lower than B, man. We're down to like D and F.
It was like it was so bad. It was so bad. I mean, like the acting was oh gosh, it was horrendously bad.
They're eating her, and then they're going to eat me. That, if you know, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean that was the thing. It was trying to remember what it was. I think it was something about bugs. They were fighting not Bugs Bunny, but bugs.
Starship Troopers?
No, it wasn't Starship Troopers.
No. I mean,
although after the first one, it definitely went downhill very quickly.
The first one is the only Starship Troopers we speak of.
Actually, no, the animated one actually wasn't too bad.
I never really caught the animated one.
But
I love the first one.
Would you consider Starship Troopers horror? I mean, it's big bugs with eating people and gory, and
I consider that just sci-fi, just good old fashioned sci-fi.
I
don't know,
science fiction.
We caught it in the theater.
Shoot 'em up, bang bang.
I figured maybe we could add it. Maybe I'm reaching.
Well, I mean, like Doom.
Oh God!
Whoa. Whoa.
Would you consider that one a horror movie?
It depends on your definition.
I mean, it was a horror of a movie. Yes. That one was another one that was just like, oh.
Dwayne Johnson, how you have fallen.
Ah, that was bad. That one was so bad. That one was another one that was. It was.
All for one, like 2-minute segment near the end where we get this first person
The
viewpoint.
first person Doom guy.
That was the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
The music from Doom is also, the games, and
Oh.
even from the movie, the music's always top tier when it comes to Doom. And the guy that composed the Doom music also composed all the music for the new Killer Instinct game. Well, the newest.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now that the new Doom music from Doom Eternal and just the new Doom that came out prior to, yeah, dude, I put that stuff on playlist. I mean, it's just that's the kind of, if you're going to just a rage fueled killing spree through hell's half acre,
Rip and tear.
Yeah, rip and tear until it's done. Yeah,
That's your playlist.
that's your playlist. So
But I'm sure we can continue this off camera. So, anywho.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll be back here in another couple of weeks. We'll have something fresh. I don't know. We may break the mold and just now change it to just kind of whatever. I know we've done alternating video games and movies, but we'll come up with our next episode, and we'll be back in
Nothing set in stone.
Another couple of weeks. Yeah. Open mic night was all right. Just good geek talking.
Hey, it went longer than I thought it would.
Yeah. So,
as usual.
Anybody got anything else?
I'm good. Just
all right. Well,
when we head back out in the car, just make sure you don't drive too crazy again, because that was pretty crazy coming in.
Yeah. I'll try and take it easy.
And of course, we missed it. Like, share, subscribe. We always missed that part.
We did. We had been doing so good.
I know.
And we blew it.
Yo, click that button.
Foo.
Yeah.
I'm too white for that.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in.
See ya.
Later. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
See you next episode.